After President Donald Trump announced that his military forces targeted Iran's military facilities, Arab countries, which as we know are closer to the United States and Israel, condemned this action. On the contrary, Arab countries that have historically been at odds with Iran now support Tehran in this conflict. Some Arab countries even boldly declared that Iran has the right to self-defense amid tensions between Iran, Israel, and the United States. Will this be the moment when Arab countries unite to expel Israel and diminish the influence of the United States in the Middle East? Undoubtedly, the reaction of Arab leaders surprised the entire world, as we know that Iran is deeply hated by its neighboring countries. Iran was even forced to seek help from Russia to counter oppression from Israel and the United States. However, today, Arab countries have opened their eyes. Even a country like Saudi Arabia, which, as we know, deeply despises Iran and has numerous strategic ties with the United States, suddenly sided with Iran and condemned the United States. Without a doubt, this will become a historic response from Indonesia to the conflict in the Middle East. This historic response was published on social media by the Saudi Arabian Ministry of Foreign Affairs. In its statement, the ministry expressed serious concern over the U.S. attack on Iran's nuclear facilities. Furthermore, it confirmed its condemnation of the violation of the sovereignty of the Islamic Republic of Iran and stated the need to make every effort to contain, reduce tensions, and prevent escalation. The kingdom also called on the international community to intensify efforts in this extremely delicate situation to achieve a political resolution to end the crisis. Even when Israel began attacking Iran's nuclear facilities, a very unexpected piece of news emerged. It was reported that Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman called Iran's President Mohammad Hajistani. In this unprecedented phone conversation, the Crown Prince expressed condolences and solidarity with the President and the people of Iran, as well as the families of the victims of the Israeli attack. MBS also confirmed the kingdom's condemnation of the Israeli strikes, which violate the sovereignty and security of the Islamic Republic of Iran and constitute a breach of international law and norms. Even more surprising was that the Crown Prince told President Hajistani that Saudi Arabia stands with its brothers in Iran and will spare no effort to support them. MBS even emphasized that the entire Islamic world is united in support of Iran. Undoubtedly, this statement shocked observers, as Iran and Saudi Arabia are like oil and water, never mixing. However, today they are capable of maintaining warm relations and supporting each other. It can be said that relations between Iran and Saudi Arabia have historically been like a sea with high and low tides. In 1929, they established close relations, but unfortunately, due to religious differences, relations between the two countries became strained again. These relations worsened further after the 1979 Iranian Revolution, when Iran's leader, Ruhollah Khomeini, began openly attacking and criticizing the character and religious legitimacy of the Saudi regime. Although at that time the Saudi president sent a congratulatory message to Khomeini, their relations did not improve. The culmination occurred in the 1980s when Saudi Arabia was accused of orchestrating Iraq's invasion of Iran, as it promised Saddam Hussein's government $25 billion in aid. Another factor that worsened relations between Iran and Saudi Arabia is that both countries have always taken opposing positions. Iran supported Shiites in Syria, Iraq, and Lebanon, while Saudi Arabia backed Sunni rebels in Syria and fought the Houthis in Yemen. This rivalry is referred to as the New Cold War in the Middle East. However, today this conflict has been forgotten, and both countries support each other in the fight against the great power behind Israel, the United States. But Saudi Arabia is not the only Arab country to condemn the U.S. actions against Iranian facilities. One of them is the United Arab Emirates, which, as we know, normalized relations with Israel and is quite close to the United States. In response, the UAE called for an immediate halt to escalation to avoid serious consequences in the region. The country also warned that U.S. actions in attacking Iran could lead the region to a new level of instability. In addition to the UAE, Egypt, which also normalized relations with Israel long ago, reacted to the U.S. attack on Iran. In its response, Egypt expressed deep concern over recent events in Iran and warned of the risks associated with rising tensions that could threaten the security and stability of the entire region. In a statement published by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Egypt stated that the ongoing escalation could have serious consequences for regional and international peace. Qatar, which also maintains fairly close relations with the United States, also condemned the attack on Iranian facilities. This was directly stated by the Qatari Ministry of Foreign Affairs on the social media platform X, where it was noted that the country is concerned about the serious consequences of the U.S. airstrike on Iran's nuclear facilities. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs warned that the current dangerous escalation in the region could lead to catastrophic consequences, both regionally and internationally. Despite some Arab countries that reacted to the U.S. attack on Iran's nuclear facilities having normalized relations with Israel and cooperating with Washington, they were still able to speak out to show who should be condemned and who should be supported. Unlike Jordan, which has so far remained silent on the reckless actions of the United States against Iran, many say that Jordan's silence regarding the U.S. attack on Iran is a safe step to maintain neutrality, especially since, in the conflict between Israel and Iran, Jordan is caught in the middle and shares borders with Israel. It is possible that Jordan does not want its country to be drawn into this conflict, but can these assumptions be trusted 100%? Unfortunately, there are rumors that Jordan is actually secretly supporting Israel in the conflict between Iran and Israel. This is because Jordan secretly intercepts various Iranian drones and missiles aimed at Israel, leading observers to assume that Jordan is now a stronghold of Israel in its conflict with Iran. As a result of falling missile debris, fragments of interceptor missiles, and exploded drones, several Jordanian citizens were injured, and significant property damage was caused in the country's surroundings during the fighting. This undoubtedly indicates that Jordan is willing to take the brunt of Iran's actions to protect Israeli territory. What is Jordan's reaction to these speculations? In a statement published by the Jordanian Armed Forces, the military indicated that the interception was carried out in response to concerns that drones launched by Iran in retaliation for Israeli attacks could land on Jordanian territory. According to officials in Amman, Jordan's air defense was activated due to a military assessment that missiles and drones could fall on Jordanian territory, including populated areas, and cause casualties. The statement also emphasized that the armed forces act to protect the country's borders on land, sea, and air, and will not allow violations of Jordanian airspace under any circumstances. Jordan also urged citizens to refrain from spreading rumors that could cause panic and unrest. However, is this statement true, or is it just an excuse for Jordan not to appear as a defender of Israel?